2 days later, at noon on April 7th, Zhang Yi set off with a group of people. As a space mutant, the biggest advantage is that you don't need to consider what to bring when you travel. Just bring everything anyway. Zhang Yi carefully checked his weapons and equipment, whether his combat uniform was complete, and whether his dagger was in a convenient position. Firearms placed in the mutant space must also be turned on the safety to ensure that they can be taken out and fired at any time. Everything was ready, and the 6 of them and the cat left the shelter. After saying goodbye to Yang Xin and the others, they rushed to the Xiaomiaoshan subway station. The Xiaomiaoshan subway station is only more than 30 kilometers away from the shelter, and it takes less than an hour to drive there. After Zhang Yi and the others arrived, they found that the cars of the 2 forces, including Xing Tian, were waiting here early. Although Zhang Yi repeatedly told them not to bring too many people, it seemed that each family brought no less than 10 people, all of whom were fully armed elite warriors or mutants. Zhang Yi got out of the car, and Xing Tian and the others saw him from a distance and hurried over to say hello. "Zhang Yi, you're here!" Zhang Yi smiled and looked at them. "According to your number, if each force sends a lot of people over, wouldn't there be tens of thousands of people?" Xiao Honglian sighed and said, "We are indeed a little scared now. It's better to bring more people, it's safer." Zhang Yi understood Xiao Honglian's concerns. Tianhai City has been in constant war since the end of the world, and the few people left have almost died. Now going to a strange place and meeting so many big and small forces, it is inevitable that you will feel insecure. "He is cautious," Zhang Yi said lightly without much comment. The crowd, led by Zhang Yi, went to the Xiaomiaoshan subway station and saw Zhang Yi using his space ability to put away the snowmobile. So Xiao Honglian came over first and said with a smile, "Zhang Yi, why don't you help us put away the car? Otherwise, if it stays here for a long time, it may be easily damaged." This sentence also shows trust in Zhang Yi. After all, their snowmobile is also an important strategic resource. Zhang Yi smiled and nodded. "If you trust me, then I will do you this small favor." Everyone said in unison, "Of course they are trustworthy." Zhang Yi walked over and simply waved his hand. All the snowmobiles they drove were taken into the space. Xiao Honglian and others saw this and their eyes were full of envy. Space-related abilities are really too practical. They are both offensive and defensive, and they are also perfect in terms of auxiliary functions. After everyone arrived at the Xiaomiaoshan subway station, it had already been buried by heavy snow. Fatty Shu walked over and urged the snow on the ground. He opened his hands and pointed his 5 fingers towards the ground. As soon as the ability of snow blowing was activated, the thick snow on the ground was blown away from the center of a circle like a hurricane. Soon, the entrance to the subway station more than 10 meters underground was revealed. Zhang Yi and others walked in and saw that this subway platform was different from other places. When you reach out and touch it, you can feel that its walls are wider and thicker, and the material used is also higher-grade concrete. This material can withstand severe impact. After all, it is a military railway line, and the construction level is naturally different from that of civilian use. Uncle Yu turned on the lights, illuminating the area below as bright as day. Everyone followed the path to the platform. It was cold and dry below, and it was dark. It was hard to believe that there would be a train passing by. Everyone didn't dare to come on time, so there was still an hour before 2:30 in the afternoon. Everyone chatted for a while and exchanged their views on the Jiangnan district headquarters. Xing Tian and Xiao Honglian were just chatting, and they didn't know anything about the Jiangnan district. But who knew that Zhang Yi actually got some useful information from Baili Chongqing? Xiao Honglian: "I have a friend who is a company commander in the Blizzard City Defense Force. I have asked him about the situation this time, and he knows part of it. This time, Commander Zhu Zheng summoned all the big and small forces in the Jiangnan region to make plans for the future. First, half a year after the end of the world, all places have basically formed some forces of scale, and it is no longer as chaotic as before. The headquarters hopes to unify these forces. Second, integrating forces is also to prevent foreign invasions or mutated creatures from causing chaos." Zhang Yi glanced at Xiao Honglian and asked curiously, If you say mutated creatures are causing chaos, I can understand. But what about foreign invasions? Looking at Blue Star now, which country is not struggling to survive in the Ice Age? They have problems protecting themselves, and they still have the energy to harass us. When the two talked, the others also pricked up their ears and listened carefully. Xiao Honglian smiled deeply. A large-scale war will definitely not break out. However, small-scale conflicts in border areas are said to have never stopped. And the key point of the problem lies in China's geographical location. As everyone knows, there are too many countries, big and small, on the edge of our border. And our China has a vast territory. Although the high-level military force is still strong, the military strength is not as good as before. Therefore, we are busy dealing with numerous small-scale harassment around us. At this point, Xiao Honglian said, "Of course, this situation is not unique to our China. In fact, this situation exists basically all over the world. Even some small countries have perished." Zhang Yi felt a little overwhelmed when he heard this. He rubbed his temple and said lightly, "There are too many snakes, insects, rats, and ants, and they are indeed impossible to kill them all. But national affairs are planned by the meat-eaters, and we don't need to worry about them for the time being. The decision is made by the top leaders of the region, and they are more experienced than us in handling these affairs. At most, we can act as pawns and do our best to make our own contributions." Zhang Yi's principle of life is to help the world when he is rich and to take care of himself when he is poor. First of all, he must ensure the safety of himself and those around him. But at the level of patriotism, if he needs to take action, he will definitely not shirk it. While everyone was talking, Flower, who was sitting on Zhang Yi's shoulder, suddenly sat up straight, his eyes wide open like copper bells, staring at the end of the subway tunnel. "Meow!" It patted Zhang Yi's tactical helmet with its white claws, indicating that there was movement ahead. Zhang Yi quickly turned his head and looked at the end of the subway tunnel. After a long while, a faint light suddenly appeared in the darkness, and the boom-boom sound of a train approaching at high speed reached everyone's ears. "Here it comes," Zhang Yi said in a deep voice. Everyone looked over there, feeling a little excited and a little nervous. For unknown things, everyone will inevitably be like this. Soon, the lights of the subway broke through the dark tunnel and shone on everyone. It was a military green special train like a long dragon running underground, and soon it drove to the platform in front of everyone. It was very fast, just like a high-speed train running underground. Speed is of the essence in war, and it is not surprising that a military special train has such a speed. A female conductor was standing at the entrance. Her skin was as white as snow, and although her smile was bright, it was terribly cold. She looked like a living person. As expected, Lu Karen beside him whispered to them, "This is a robot." Zhang Yi suddenly realized that it was no wonder that he had such a gloomy feeling. This was probably the uncanny valley effect. The female conductor bowed to everyone and said, "Everyone, please board the Blizzard train number 13.